Welcome back, my green loving community. Today I want to talk to you about another one of my favorite plants, the rubber plant, or its cousin, the variegated rubber plant. Variegated rubber plant's really cool. It kind of has that little camo style look to it. Really, really beautiful plant. But the rubber plant is definitely one of the plants that I actually started off with when I first started getting into plants. I had a fiddle leaf fig, I had some pothos, I had a staghorn fern, and I had a rubber plant. One of my favorite parts about the rubber plant is how durable it is. So what I love about them is that I can place them in direct sun spots in my home. So a lot of you who know me know that I preach bright indirect light. So a lot of my plants take up most of those spaces in my home. But what about those direct sun locations? I leave those for the cacti, succulents, and yes, the rubber plant. The rubber plant loves direct sun. It also loves, obviously, bright indirect light, but in my home, I like to place them in as much direct sun as possible because that's where I've seen them thrive the most. After that, it's all about how you water them. So when you're watering your rubber plant, you want to make sure that the soil is dry, at least 2 inches. You take your finger, just like your other plants, place it down in that soil, see if it's dry. If it's dry to the touch, then you're going to water it, but make sure that the water comes seeping out of the drainage hole. Once it comes out of that drainage hole, like I've said before, you're going to take that base tray full of runoff water and you're going to dump that and place your plant back in its spot. The one key thing is to make sure you don't overwater your plants. Given that it is in a direct sun location, it might tend to dry out faster than your other plants. So you want to be mindful of that, but always water when dry. Now let's talk about how to duplicate, propagate. How do you do that, you ask? Well, it's simple. The rubber tree is a tip cut. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the tip of one of its branches and you're going to cut it. Just take at least 3 healthy leaves and then place that cutting in lukewarm water, close, but not in the exact same spot as where the mother plant is living. You want to make sure that you're placing your cuttings in bright indirect light, not direct sunlight. Direct sunlight will burn the leaves and over time kill the cutting. What I like to do is to make that cut, place in lukewarm water and place it on my cradle wall. Now, you might not have a cradle wall like I do, but if you want one, obviously you can get one. What I like to do is to place it in a wall and then over time watch as the roots develop. If the water gets a little murky, a little yucky, what you're gonna do is you're gonna dump that out and refresh it with fresh water. I tend to have to do that every 2 weeks or so. So from where that cut was made on the mother plant, you should see at least 1 or 2 new branches grow. So don't be, afraid that obviously when you make that cut, you're killing the plant. The plant will want to thrive and continue on its life, so it will shoot out a new branch. So another thing you're going to want to do is with your rubber plant, just like all of your other plants, is make sure that you're taking the time to clean the foliage. So what I like to do is fill a small bucket with dish soap and water, take a rag and dip it into that water and just wipe down all the leaves. Now, some people ask, why are you spending so much time wiping down all of your leaves? Well, for one, it takes all of the dust off, making your plant obviously look so much better. Don't you like to take a little bit of the dust off yourself? Some of you actually might need it, a little bit of tender love and care. I think that's very important. Your plant will also love it. Second, it also puts you in the plant. The more time you spend with it, the more you're aware of its needs, or if there's a bug or two possibly lingering around your foliage, either underneath or on top. The more time you spend with it, the better you will understand it and you'll be able to care for it. Lastly, and I say this about every single plant you have, talk to your plant. Just check in on them, see how they're doing, maybe even give them a name. If you're feeling like you want a personal relationship with your plant, I suggest giving it a name. So yeah, that's it. That's how you care for your rubber plant. I hope this helps. Have fun.